Hello there. Woo. Happy New Year. It's like I'm just finishing celebrating my birthday, so I'm super excited. But last week I posted just kind of innocently. It's like I was on and saw someone's profile where they mentioned that they specialized in like this whole long line about 10 things. And I just put up, if you specialize in more than three things, that you don't really have a specialty. And boy, did that cause a firestorm. And so we are here to talk about it today. I've got two amazing guests, and we may have a few more people to join us. But I'm excited about this conversation because it speaks to just, how much, energy there is around, this topic, and how do we maximize who we are and what we know how to do um, in our industry, and how do we actually take what we do know and focus it so that everyone else knows what we do and that they should come to us and maybe help us even generate more in terms of our income. So I want to bring on my special guest, and I have Freddie J. It's like she is a master hair cutter. It's like you guys probably have seen her through at the shows and through the years, doing all types of cutting classes. And now she started BICA. And so she's based in Dallas, Texas. And so, hi, Freddie. Welcome.
Hello.
Anything else we should know about you?
That's basically it. Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh,
The
thank you.
birthday month of January, which is my birthday too.
You're
Um, so basically, master cutting instructor at Dudley. That's how I really kind of got started. But anyway, that's what I specialize in. There are other things that I can do, but that's my specialty. And then just recently, I started this BICA, the Beauty Industry and Community Awards, where kind of merging the beauty industry and the community to create economic growth in our communities. So I started that in 2021. And basically, we do events and we go across the country, and I have partners that do it in their cities. So basically, the hairstyle is really giving back
Yeah.
because the community has given so much to us. So we're just trying to, create that cohesiveness to create growth in our own communities by shopping with one another.
Awesome. We absolutely love it. So congratulations. I remember when
Thank
it was
you.
kind of a baby idea, and to
Right.
see it spring forth is phenomenal. And our other guest is Theresa Casanares, and she is the founder and president of SBBOPRO, which specializes in doing virtual shows. So she had the Barberverse, and I was grateful to be part of that. And one of the reasons I invited her on is because of one of the comments that she made, or questions that she gave on that comment, in the comment section, which just kind of blew up. And so, Theresa, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, but let me just first welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. It's like I see some of you guys popping on. We are using StreamYard, and if you'd like for me to be able to see your name, you can actually, at the bottom of the posting, it says, allow StreamYard to see your name. It's an option, but I'd love to welcome you by name. But thank you so much for being here. And of course, if you're on the replay, we appreciate you watching as well. So, Theresa, tell us a little bit about you and your background.
Hello, everyone. And I want to say happy birthday to both of you ladies. Happy birthday
Thank
to the
you.
January ladies. And yeah, I was that question, being a jack of all trades. I was a Jane of all trades. And I was a Jane of all trades because I moved around like all my life. I moved when I was 14 from one state to another. And then 6 years later, I moved to California. I lived there 20 years. And then I moved to Texas. And my career had to continually adjust, even with my kids. But the one thing, or the two things that I've always been involved in all my life, was community and volunteering, Black American advancement, women issues. And I always wanted to do hair, and I did hair since I was 8 years old. I did everybody's eyebrows, everybody's makeup. I did all the fashion shows, um, with the talent shows. I was just always involved in events. And so I ended up doing this because I was forced to deal with the engineering and technology because of my husband. It was just what we did. I met him in school for technology in Berkeley. And so I fell in love with that because of the puzzle aspect. And I love building websites. It was just, so I was a real estate agent. I was technology teacher, kindergarten through 5th grade. I studied business science at the University of Phoenix, and everything happened because of life changes. And I had to adjust, and I had to have a good attitude about it. And I just naturally became a Jane of all trades. But when I started doing hair, I fell in love. And because I'm an artist, I'm a Libra, and I just creating, making people happy, changing people's lives, women coming in, telling their stories. It fed my community spirit. It was just touching people's heart. It was a ministry, and it allowed me to just, and I met so many people, and I saw so many people. And I remember how excited it was when I first saw you, Freddie, live in person. I was like, that's that, like a fan. But, and it led me here because I started SBBOPRO in 2009. I started it going to the Bronner Brothers. I looked around, I saw all these people. I said, this should be online. And that's when we were all online. And a lot of the legends were on Facebook, including you, Freddie. We were all there, right? And I just watched everybody grow, and I grew, into technology more and building the community. I really wanted to see manufacturers and stylists and barbers have a better relationship, and for us to get our due. We are underrepresented and such. So from all those backgrounds, I managed to pour it into this. And so that's what I meant by diversity. And I say this to say that those things happened to me because of natural instances that happened. I had children, I got married, my life changed. And so to the young people, I say, just be flexible and open, because we don't choose our steps. Our steps are ordered.
Yeah. Very true.
And we just have to be obedient in that, and have a good attitude. So
okay. Yeah, well, thank you for that, Theresa, because definitely everybody is, at different places in their career, and everybody has different life circumstances that definitely take them in different directions. And so I guess I'll take this time to introduce myself. I didn't do that at the top of the show, but my name is Miki Wright. I'm a business growth specialist or strategist. And I help business owners a lot in the beauty industry to be able to accelerate their profits in 90 days or less. It's like I work with a lot of female entrepreneurs who are have a successful business, kind of quote unquote, but they are still feeling a bit overworked and oftentimes underpaid. And so we help them to create a business that's profitable so they can create a lifestyle that they really enjoy. And so that's a little bit as far as what I do. This is Your Pricing Matters podcast. And we talk about all things that have to do with business, all things that have to do with pricing, obviously, and building confidence. And so I'm excited about this conversation. And I wanted to start out with what would you guys' definition of what a specialty is? Because there seem to be a lot of confusion, a lot of, misconceptions and what have you. And so, just kind of, shortly quickly, I guess, in your own words to tell us, what you think. So Freddie, it's like, I feel like you are a blueprint for having a specialty. So what is your definition and kind of how did you get to that specialty?
Okay. So, so I started doing hair late, as I say, I did other things, and I was licensed at 34. Okay. So I've only been doing hair 30 years and I'm about to be 65. I've been doing hair 30 years and I'm about to be 65. So I started at 34. I'm 64. So I started late, but I was always an artist. Like when I was 9 and 10 years old, like I sketch people, and I had balance. I won the little contest in the book, and then people came from the Art Institute, but I was already going to college. But anyway, I've always had balance and been able to sketch. And and liked, you know, creating. So I never thought that I would do hair, but somehow I fell into it. Some of my friends were doing hair. Linnell Brown, who was one of my mentors here in Dallas, and my sister did hair and some other friends. So I started doing hair and, you know, went to cosmetology school and realized I like cutting. You know, I liked cutting and I would style, but I kind of was drawn to cutting. But anyway, when I graduated from cosmetology school and went into the salon, I did several things because, you know, you learn how to do everything. And at that point, you're trying to make money. So I was trying to make money. So I did braids, I did nails, I did extensions, I did whatever. Well, I knew that some of those things weren't for me because the next day after I did the nails, they popped off for the lady. And the next day after I did braids, the braids fell out. So I knew those things were not for me, right? Even though, you know, when you get more training. But anyway, long story short, when I started really getting into hair, I really was drawn to hair cutting. It was my passion. And because for me, the hair cutting is a foundation of the style. So I went to DCU a couple of years. I was licensed in 93, went to DCU, still like the cutting area. That's where I met Maurice Lemons. And then I really started cutting more. And then when I went back to master cutting at DCU, I realized that's what I wanted to do, was to hair cutting was my field. Also, when I used to watch Barry Fletcher and the Hair Gangsters, and, you know, their basis was hair cutting. So that's what really was my foundation and to get into hair cutting. And then I took the master cutting class at DCU with Patrick and Amos and D Clay, and decided that that was my specialty. Then I got on with Dudley Products and I started teaching master cutting, and that's how I ended up here. It's my passion. I think specialty means anything that you have specialized training in. First, if it's going to be a specialty, and I think we need to understand what specialty is. Specialty is something that probably you do better than what you do everything else. Now you can do 2 or 3 things good. And I know some people don't say they can do all these things good, and that's fine. For me, hair cutting was my passion and my specialty. You know, so when I taught advanced training classes, I went and took more classes in hair cutting. You know, I have some in hair cutting. I also do styling, like my little styling and doing the little curls. I kind of got known for that. So really, whatever your specialty is, it's kind of going to flow with the other things that you do. So basically, if you want to do the foundation as a haircut, then I would color, put a pop of color, and then I would start styling. You know, curling sometimes. I really like just cutting, but when the curls came in, you know, I started curling and all that stuff. But anyway, specialty, I think, is something you get advanced training in, that is your passion and that draws people to you. Because I think that when you first get started out there, you got to have something that stands out, that's different, that sets you apart from everyone else. Now, in some areas, because when you're in a town, you know, as big as Dallas, I should say, you got to have something that makes you stand out, because there's so many good hairstylists all over the country, really, and in this area. So hair cutting was my thing. And that's how people got referred to me, is because of my haircuts. They kind of stood alone and stood on their own. So that's why I say hair cutting is my specialty. I can do other things and you can do a million things, but if I'm asked to teach, or if I'm asked to, what do you do best? Or if I'm out in the streets and I say, you know, I do hair, I'm passing out cards, they're going to say, well, what do you do? I do hair cutting. Hair cutting is my specialty. So that was always something that I could do. So I say that you can have several specialties, but I think the specialty is what you get more advanced training in. You can get advanced training in 3 different areas. And I think levels bring about different things. So in your 20s, it may be something different, in your 30s, in your 40s. So it can change, your specialty can change, and then you can be a specialist in 3 or 4 different areas. But I think that we need to understand, if you're a specialist, you can say, I specialize in hair cutting, but you can list the other things that you do. But to help you to stand out and be known and to brand yourself, you know, you can be branded as a general hairstylist, being able to do everything, but I can't list all of those things as specialties, because specialty is an area that you're passionate about and you have more advanced training in. That's just my thoughts on it.
Excellent. I think you said a lot there. So it's like I definitely appreciate it. And one thing that I heard is that, kind of your passion is
Mhm.
one of those areas or one of those things that you can tune into for that guidance into what is my specialty or what should I specialize in. I think another piece is, like what do clients say, people that sit in your chair.
Mhm.
And, a lot of times it's like, wow, it's like, this is the best cut I've ever gotten or what have you, that it's like, it starts, start to listen to those things and tune in. And the other thing I think that is a great point for us to spend a minute on is when you're starting out, when we graduate cosmetology school, barber school with, the training and such that we get a little bit of everything as we should.
Mhm.
And I think that from my perspective, your first couple years should be about what more you can learn because you just got that little spattering. So even if you think that you know which direction you want to go, it's like dip your toe in a lot of pools. And like Freddie J was saying, it's like in the beginning, and that was my experience as well. It's like I needed to make money. Anybody who wanted anything done to their hair, who was willing to sit in my chair and pay me, it was like, it's on. Come on, let's go.
That's
But
correct.
as you start to, build your clientele, build your business, refine what you're doing, and I think one of the mistakes that I see now is that everybody wants to start with a brand. It's like, oh, well, I can't start my business because I haven't defined my brand. But I think, if you're at all like me, it's like, I didn't need a brand. I needed some money. I needed some clients. And and that was what I needed. And the brand built itself.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so, Theresa, what's your, kind of definition of a specialty?
Everything you both said.
Okay.
Everything you both said, and just to piggyback on that, and as you said, I came in late too, Freddie. I came in, I think I was like 38 or 39, and when I got to Houston, my husband was working in Iraq. He was in the war zone, right? And so I didn't have the pressure of making money, but I did not like not doing hair. And here I was, this Black woman in a salon with 46 other people who were not Black, maybe one lady, and all of our clients were not Black. So I had that, but I had 46 stylists, I think there was, and I counted that as 1,000 years of experience. And man, those ladies taught me color and cut. And you're so right about all the things. When you get in school, I was under the illustrious Miss Green from Chicago. She was at HCC. Her and Mrs. Martinez made sure we learned. And I love that. So lashes, makeup, hair, rollers, perms, relaxers, we learned it all. But it wasn't until, I realized that what I love most was healthy hair. And that meant what I wanted to know most was products and what was in them and how to recommend those products to clients that really help their hair in their stage, right? And because my clientele was so diverse, I was able to learn about how products work across the board. And that became my specialty. And like you said, the way I knew it is the comments that my clients made, how they were afraid to even do anything to their hair unless I said, do this. I made you sign a contract that said you would use these products if I was going to do your hair. And if you used anything else and came back damaged, I was going to charge you double for the conditioner and I may not accept you back.
Okay.
Embarrassed me in public. So, but I love healthy hair. And so that became my specialty. And I do agree with you. But like you already know, Miki, I jumped into that question. I knew something was behind. I knew you knew something that I wasn't thinking about. And so I agree with both of you about that. That's
well.
awesome.
Let's head into your question, and this is meant to be kind of interactive, guys. So I see you're watching. I appreciate you being here. But if you have any comments you want to add, any questions you want to ask, definitely feel free to jump in. So thanks for being here. And Theresa, you asked about if you just have one or two things that are kind of your specialty, how do you create multiple streams of income? Was that the gist of what you asked?
Well, yes, and it kind of, it wasn't, see, I didn't go as deep as you did, and I knew there was something I was missing. But as I mentioned, I was into healthy hair. That created multiple streams of income because part of that process is color, is cut. All of that includes healthy hair, right? You
Mhm.
must. So I had to be good at color and cut. I had to master those things. But my specialty and what was most important to me was healthy hair and how to, because they came there and they're going to sit in your chair and you just want to maintain, right? You don't want to have to fix their hair every time they came in.
Right.
And so I saw how valuable that was to everybody, and I made it my specialty. But from that, I had all these streams of income because I could teach about products. I could sell products. Oh, man, I made my money off selling product. I'm going to tell y'all, I worked 4 days, maybe 3, but my money came from products because my clients were convinced that they worked because they did, and they bought their products from me, and that was my stream of income, that helped me. So, and other things, but
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
just it though.
Yeah, it makes absolute sense. So, Freddie J, for you, what have you seen as far as being able to create multiple streams of income from having a specialty?
Well, having a specialty alone, when you say specialist, I mean, because when you look at doctors that are, they're general doctors and they are just your general practitioner that you may go to. But if something else is wrong, then what do? They refer you to a specialist, to an internal doctor, or if it's something with your foot, a podiatrist, or if it's something with your brain surgeon, if it's surgery that you have to do. So, I think that we don't have to you don't have to just say I do everything, and I'm if you want to go into a specialized area, let me speak to those because you don't have to just do everything. You can set yourself apart and you can charge what you want, and you can only do those. That's why I was wanting I really wanted Brandy Shanae to come on out of Houston, someone I've been knowing for a long time, and she's termed herself just recently as a blonde specialist. And I believe that she does other things. Well, I think that she really narrowed it down and she does natural hair and she does blonding a lot. And I wanted her to come on, but hopefully at some other time we may be able to talk to her. But when you set yourself apart like that, and when you're able to charge, and then to be able to maintain that blonde hair, and just like hair cutting, my clients come, most of my clients are weekly and some of them are every 2 weeks. So I don't necessarily have clients that don't come. They use some product. But anyway, so I say specialist because you can set yourself apart. You can charge more for that specialty, and then I do have some people that just come to me for a haircut. They may come every 6 weeks, every couple of months. They have other hairstylists sometimes, and they come to me for their haircut. So I'm known as a hair cutting specialist and have been for a very long time. So then I teach classes. So that's the other stream of income. I teach classes. I go to hair shows. I have like 20 hair cutting DVDs with different haircuts on those. It's probably about 50 haircuts on those DVDs. So, and then I also do styling, and I also, have a color DVD. So I've done some other things, but hair cutting is what the basis of what I stand on. And it's taken me a lot of different places. I do hair shows, I do cutting classes, I do one-on-one classes. I do cut parties, when I do competitions, I do hair cutting. Got that from Barry too, because Barry Fletcher always would do something different with hair cutting. And, I was like, I'm going to be like Barry. I had just started doing hair and came to the hair shows. I was like, oh my God, in the 90s. And so when I got into, started doing hair cutting competitions at Bronner and all that, I was going to do something different with hair cutting, whether it was underwater, whether it was upside down or whatever, something different with hair cutting. So hair cutting has been my life as far as in the industry. And that's basically what I'm known for. Even though I worked with Dudley Product Company for 18 years, I still was hired out by other companies because I could go to those other companies. Even though I worked with Dudley, I didn't sell the other company's products. I did hair cutting classes for them. So I've worked with a lot of other companies, for a lot of other people, uh, some of my different friends across the country, I've worked for them, just doing haircutting classes. So that's what haircutting, having a specialty can do for you. And you don't have to do all those things you don't want to do. You may not want to do a
Right,
silk
right,
press. You may not want to do braids. You may not want to do all that.
Right.
If you just want to do hair cutting and narrow it down, like I think Brandy Shanae is, and that's all you want to do, you can do that if you want to. So don't think it minimizes your value. It increases your value in that area. So understand that just because you may know how to do 20 things, that's wonderful, because it leads to other things. And I know I was reading some of the comments, getting on what somebody else was saying. They did all these different things and they opened a school. Excellent. Because that means that you prepared yourself for your next level. Everybody's next level is different. My next level was what I do, in haircutting and teaching that. And hers was to open a school because she learned how to do everything. So we need everybody, but just letting those who don't know which way to go when you get out of school or what to do, or you're afraid because people say you need to know how to do everything. Well, no, you've just got to turn that passion into the dollars that you want to make. And you can do that with just doing hair cutting and color or whatever you want your specialty to be. So you don't have to be a general hairstylist. You can be a specialist.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a couple comments. It's like, I appreciate, everything that you broke down for us. It's like, I think everybody's getting a lot out of it. Stacy B says, this is great. Thank you, beautiful way pavers. We appreciate you, Stacy. And Dewana has some hearts for us. So thank you so much. We appreciate it. And
Miki, can I, I just want to also mention something that Freddie was saying. It's like, and let's not forget, and number one, if you're going to specialize, take the time to invest in yourself and take these classes.
Yes.
Not just practice and you make mistakes on people's head, get it, and then try to duplicate it. We really need education. That is key. And not just education in practical, and not just education in theory, but as you grow, you need education in finance, in accounting, in science, in math. It's like, keep educating yourself and taking opportunities to learn new things. And more importantly, coming from where I'm at as a digital marketing, prompt engineering, technology person who is totally interested in helping this industry become technology equipped and to be able to market our products. We can no longer send ads and get on the radio and TV. That's just not enough anymore. We have to learn how to compete and get the word out there. You have to understand that Facebook and all these social medias are in it to make money, that you will have to pay, but you also have to understand how to promote yourself in this new technology age. So, and the simple way to do that is just to go on LinkedIn, go on go on YouTube and learn some new skills that will help you to advance. And it's just like when you were a kid, you said you didn't need algebra. What do I need that for? Why do I need fractions? That's why you can't cook. Period. So that's what don't be afraid of technology. Learn about chat, use it. Bill Gates said that chat is your personal assistant. You will be amazed. And if you don't understand it, take some classes and get certified and become specialists in what you do.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, such a great thing. It's like, I have this streaming across here. So learn technology. It is not going anywhere. So it's like, we need to embrace it. And one of the things I wanted to kind of dispel in terms of misconceptions. Someone mentioned, it's like, I hate going to someone and they can only do, say, a silk press, or they can only do a weave, or extensions, or what have you. That is not a specialist. That, to me, is a one trick pony. where it's like you don't have the foundation, like even of cosmetology school, to say it's like, oh yeah, I know how to handle these types of textures. I know how to do this, that, and the other. A specialist is someone who knows the landscape of what their profession is,
Yes.
and they have elevated themselves based on, like Freddie J said, getting specialized knowledge and getting that degree of passion going so that they can become known for something. And that's the other thing, is that a specialty is what you're known for. So it really has to do with marketing more so than what you can do. It doesn't mean that you're not capable of doing the 10 things that may have been listed on that bio that I read, or profile I read. You can do all of those things, but how do you put it into a way that people know what you do and can easily refer you because you do it well, and
Right.
because they're able to articulate it because you're able to articulate it. And I was reminded of a conversation I had at the end of a hair show. It's like I met up with John Atchison, who's a master hair cutter, Vidal Sassoon trained, and has trained a lot of, I will include myself, us,
Right.
who are great cutters at this point. And he is known for that. And he doesn't even really do the curling and the styling and all that kind of stuff. It is geometric shapes that stand on their own. And I had a conversation with him when I was starting out. And it's like, I think I want to start teaching classes. And he was like, well, what are you going to be known for? It's like, I've already got hair cutting. And I was like, wow, that's a good question, because I don't know. But then the next class I taught people how to do a certain haircut. And they did a great job with learning the haircut. But then when they went to style it, it looked like their old technique. And so the cut didn't look fresh and new. So that became what I started teaching, fabulous finishes. It was all about finishing techniques. And so you can't finish without the foundation. And fabulous finishes was a strategic approach to hair design so that you could get clients in and out of the salon quickly. Because when we're all scattered, it's like, that's why they're in there all day. We don't have our time management. We don't have a system that we do each and every time. And at the end of that, they look fabulous. Because that was what I would, keep hearing from clients. It's like, oh, my hair looks fabulous. Or, it's like, I got home, my husband said it was fabulous. And so it wasn't about me not doing certain things. It's like creating shape is what I call cuts. And every hair needs shape. So it's like, if it's long or short, we can do that. If we want it updo, it's like, that's part of styling. It's all in the finishing. But the finishing requires a good shape, and it requires that the hair is healthy, and it requires that all of these things are in place so that we can go through and go bing, bang, boom, and you look fabulous. And so it was really that conversation with John Atchison that really helped me define and get clear on what it was. And it was a decision. It was a decision that I made consciously, based on, my skills, my talents, my passion, goals, all of those things. But that was the brand that I built. And so my salon was called Fabulous Finishes. When I expanded into salon and day spa, it was Fabulous Finishes. I taught Fabulous Finishes.
Nice.
And you did competitions, with styling, with cutting, with all of those different things. And so, it was a bigger umbrella. I created posters, that had featured Black women without the ads from all of the manufacturers. And, and the training that I did, did, like Freddie J had the videos for finishing, and it's like cutting. And I showed like 3 different ways to finish the style.
Right.
So they can wear it natural with their curls, enhance that. We can take it and wrap it and have, a smooth pixie type of style. We can take it and do an updo style out of that, even though it's relatively short. And so just showing people how to enhance what the cut or shape was by the way that you finish it. And so, that is something I think that sometimes does need to be a conscious decision. And it's just like your gifts making room for you. But whatever it is, kind of tap into what that is so that you can monetize it. One, be easy
That,
to remember.
that finishing, Miki, is so important. I remember talking to Keston Duke, that
Mhm.
would do the
Mhm.
photography,
Got it.
and that was something that was required. If you he would say, that a lot of stylists did not know how to finish the hair,
Mhm.
so that it is photo ready for the magazines,
Absolutely.
and that is an important skill to photographers, to be able to have a
Absolutely.
stylist come in and, create a finished, polished look. So I thought that
Yeah.
was interesting. And then also, and piggybacking what you were saying about the creating the videos, and when we talk about even with healthy hair, and I noticed, like, I had made a couple of videos about the process of taking care of your hair. And I was at a Redkins symposium, and the question was, brought to us about how, before we even did hair, how we would stand in front in the store and look at a bunch of cans of this and that. And then, and how we decided to buy a product was what the thing looked like, if it was pretty. And then we take the top off and we smell it. And then we go, oh, and then we see how nice the bottle, and we believed everything that was on the front and every bit of advertising. And then you turn around and look at the ingredients and you had no idea what they were.
Right.
So that made my job easier, because I used professional products and I knew what the ingredients were, and to explain to my clients how important those ingredients are to your hair. And even if those ingredients work,
Mhm.
is also a specialty, and you will have to understand science and chemistry and read. And so it's very important that we
Yeah.
read and understand what we're doing to people's hair, because, like Freddie said, my job was sometimes only to cut, and I respect those clients,
Right.
but they were in a formula, and but they trusted me for products, and because I understood what I was doing and got the education about that. So I'm very honored to be here today with both of you, and I really appreciate, just having this chance to talk about this subject. Miki, thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I'm loving this conversation. It's like we've got some more comments and stuff too, so I want to show those. Yeah, but you definitely made some huge points there. But Janice Evans says, learn systems how corporations are successful. Absolutely, and if it works for them, it will work for your company. Woo!
Yes.
That's a that's a word right there, right? And then we don't have your name, but you said finishing is important, and absolutely, it's like that's what attracts the clients to you. It's like you're never going to leave my salon, from any of my team members with just your hair wet and hanging down or unfinished. It's like, oh, I'll just put a hat. Nope, you won't.
Right.
You're gonna get done.
About.
You're my card. You're my business card. You're my billboard. You're my advertisement. I
Mhm.
want people stopping you on the street saying your hair looks fabulous, because I want them coming to me too. So, think about all of those things. Brenda Maxwell says, great content, ladies. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. And like I said, if you guys have any questions or anything about, the art of specialization, this is termed, is it a limitation or a gateway to growth? And I think we're proving our case that it's a gateway to growth. Go ahead, Freddie.
I think something else is important. Both of you have mentioned systems.
Oh,
So even
you know what,
with
Freddie?
systems,
Do you have another device on? I keep hearing like a little bit of an
no, that's
echo.
not me. No,
Okay. I don't know if anyone else is hearing it, but go ahead. I'm
I
sorry to
hear
interrupt.
it, but I don't know where that's coming from. Everything is off in here.
Okay.
Okay. Um, I think it stopped. But
Okay.
when we talk about systems, I think so many times and when we're talking about going to advanced training classes, and it's training classes in anything,
Mhm.
just like systems, when she talked about systems and the technology and knowing those systems, but there are systems for cutting hair, it's systems for styling hair. And I think that once we get out of school, we get away from those systems, but those systems are what makes it work and what
Mhm.
makes it easier and what makes it plain. I hear so many times when people go to cosmetology school, they say they didn't learn anything, but you learn the basic foundations. Learning how to do hair is something you got to learn on your own. People can't teach you that. It's something trial and error that you got to learn. But when you learn the basic foundations, the scientific part, studying about chemistry and the products and stuff like that, you're going to have to continue to do that as you get out of school. but putting those systems in place and learning them, just like you were talking about finishing, you know, we wondered, why did we learn on base, off base, half base curls? Why
Yep.
did we learn the finger waves? Why was that so important? And then we say, we didn't learn anything in school. Yes, you did, because we do it all day long, every day, on base, off base, half base, these pin curls and what finger waves that have not gone anywhere. They're the basis for just about everything that we do. And especially how they've made that comeback, and they're not going anywhere because our clients won't get out of those waves that we've started doing, because you know, it makes it so much easier. The hair looks like it's always done because they, you know, they want the curls. They're killing me with these curls. But because I used to love when I was do haircuts and they would leave with that haircut, even though you might silk it out, it'd still be spiked. Lord, why did we start doing curls? But anyway, you know, but everything has a system. Even hair cutting has a system. It's a systematic approach. So, and I'm saying that to say, when you go to take advanced training classes, whether it be hair cutting, whether it's styling, whether it's color, they all have systems, guys. We got to stop going to these classes and just, you know, creating that cut. You know, we talked about a cut a few minutes ago and not knowing how to do any cut. It's a systematic approach for any cut. There's no different approach for a pixie or for a bob or for long hair. There's different techniques, but the systems are the same. The systematic approach to hair cutting is the same. So first of all, we got to learn that and stop just pulling out hair and cutting it and going to these classes where people are charging you all these high prices and they don't even know the basic. They don't even know the parts of the shears. So they don't even know the color wheel. You know, I know the color wheel and the secondary and tertiary colors. I don't teach color. You know, I did one time, but I had a color specialist with me. I just taught techniques. I don't teach hair color. You know, I know how to do color, but I'm not a color specialist. I think we got to understand, and some of us say we're cutting specialists, and you're really not, because, oh, no, let me not say that, because that'll get us in trouble again. Because if you don't know the basic parts of the shears and the parts of the head and some kind of systematic approach to hair cutting, you're just pulling hair out and cutting it. You're not a hair cutting specialist. I'm just going to tell you that. But anyway, because I'm not a color specialist, I would never say I was. But you got to know some basic fundamentals from just the Milady book. Y'all don't use it. You know, you get out and just pull hair out from the head and say you're a cutting specialist. You're not. But you can say that all day long, but you're not. And it may turn out great and nice, but to be able to teach somebody and transfer that information, you need to have a system. So, you know, just saying that it's important to get training classes and everything. I mean, you know, everything. If you're going to call yourself a specialist, please know that you need to know the basic fundamentals and the parts of the shears. You can say it's not important all day long, but those shears, they have a mechanical, they're supposed to work a certain way. And, you know, we have a license and we say we're professionals, but we are just like the people that are unlicensed. You know, I don't want to say kitchen beauticians, because a lot of people might work from home now because of COVID and all that, and understanding maybe licensed, it's against the rules, but I get it. But if you're not licensed, some of us are doing just like unlicensed people. We go to school, but we don't use anything that we learn in school. We don't use just the basic foundation of hair that we learn in school. And we say that we're professionals. I beg to differ. And we're specialists. And no, you're not. And I said it.
Yeah. And the market will tell you, you know, I think more than anything. But yeah, you bring up, I mean, the points we're going could all be a separate show.
Right.
But yeah, the basics that we learn in school, because one of the things that came to mind when you said that is how you would set up your station each day. You would lay out, you know, or for each service, you lay out, you know, on a towel that I need the comb and I need an applicator brush and I need the color bowl and I need this and I need that. And you have it all laid out before you start your service.
What do clients love to see that?
Yeah, but what do we do in the salon most of the time? Oh, shoot, I forgot my such and such. Let me run over here, and we're just all scattered and all over the place. Just laying out your stuff. Not only will it help you to be more organized, like Theresa just said. It's like the clients love to see that. It's like, oh wow, it's all prepared for me.
Yes.
For me. and that individualized attention is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
yeah, that's a basic. And then you also reminded me of Charles Gregory. I don't know if you guys
Oh,
know him or not,
yes.
but for
Yes.
anyone who doesn't, he was Medea's hairstylist for a while, but he's much bigger and broader than that, or true icon in our industry. And I interviewed him many years ago, maybe 2009ish or something like that. And I don't know if it was during the conversation or after I was like, you are quoting the Milady book like verbatim in different areas. And it's like, he's like, I study it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why is he Medea's hairstylist, working for Charlie Perry Studios, doing, a variety of different things and able to open the doors for so many other stylists is because he not just, like I'm talented, which he was, I can do some hair. It's like I've had all these accolades. I've been at the top of, directors of education for Soft Sheen and all of these different things, winning competitions. It's like that's the stuff. The foundation of that came before all of that is him being deep in that book on a regular basis, 20, 30 years into his career, still reading the book. And it's like, wow.
And Miki, and I just want to say that is the same foundation for technology. It's
Mhm.
basics, and having a basic understanding, you can learn anything. But with all education and all specialties, we have to drop our pride and always feel like I'm in kindergarten. I'm learning
Mm-hmm.
something new. Be open to making mistakes, ask questions, and
Mhm.
learn from your, if I didn't do it 1,000 times, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
each step enriched my life. I'm
Mhm.
thankful for every single thing that has happened to me and every opportunity to fail, because a failure is our way to success. We have to fail. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say that it's basics, so just relax, and just learn. I mean, this is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'm in my office, a home office. I do digital marketing, but guess what? Look at this. I wanted to show you this, Freddie. This is for you. Okay. It stays by my side.
Okay.
By my side.
All right now.
And my license and my book,
You are
my
prepared.
DLR book. So I love my profession and never stop learning. Never.
Right.
Mm,
Right.
right.
Yeah. And one of the things that I will add to what you just said, it's like you can't become a specialist without having like made some huge mistakes along the way.
Right.
Up at night mistakes.
Somebody's haircut did not turn out right. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then you say, oops, while you're doing it.
Don't ever.
Yeah, my first bob on curly hair. It's like I was in school and they told us, you section and you bring all the hair down and you hold it nice and tight and you do your cutting and everything. And so I had a friend who referred someone to me and she was, a doctor, I think. And, we did it in somebody's apartment or whatever when I was still in school. And that thing, if that wasn't the cutest wedge you ever saw, it didn't have anything to do with a bob. It went, it was like, I was sitting there like her. And she started out with fairly long hair. So it was supposed to be like, somewhere. I was like, okay, well, now I know how to cut a wedge. And I learned about shrinkage that day. It's like, oh, you don't cut curly hair like that. You can only cut straight hair like that. So trust, if someone is a specialist, they have some war stories to go with.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how you learn how to cut Black women's hair. Like, you don't be doing all that pulling. You better, unless it's already straight.
Right. And even then, it's like no tension, just enough.
That stuff get wet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So definitely. So any closing words? I know you guys, have just shared so much, and it's like we've got a few more things. So say it again, Freddie. You were out there preaching. We got you. And Brenda said she lays hers out. And I saw there was a question in here somewhere. So let me see. Oh, wait a minute. This person says they've removed Marcel curling, finger waves, and roller setting from many state board exams.
Oh,
Whew.
Wow.
Yeah.
that explains
Well,
the wigs.
that's a whole nother
Show.
live, like you said. They're removing a lot of things. And I think,
Yeah.
guys, y'all need to wake up and smell the coffee and see
Mhm.
what's happening to this industry. And we have minimized ourselves as as professionals,
Yeah.
and they don't take us serious. The hours keep cutting down. We don't have a instructor's license. You don't have to have instructor's
Mhm.
license in the state of Texas to teach anymore. So what is that? I don't know if that tells you anything. They have put the barber and the stylist license together. I think now we're practitioners,
Okay.
and they have reduced them to 1,000 hours. They
Mhm.
have tried time after time to um, to get rid of the license in the state of Texas. So, and that, they're going to start with the big states first. And I tell you guys this all the time: California and Texas and New York, they really try to start with us. But the license is they're going to deregulate license after a
Mhm.
while. So I just say get as much training as you can, and if you want to stay in this profession, or you guys got to start getting together. I'm on the back end on my way out. But still was try to fight and try to tell, and I've been telling people this for years,
Mhm.
is they want to deregulate this license, and we got to get together and start getting together and voting and
Right.
going to our state representatives and our local people, because they're doing it at the national level.
Mhm.
If there was an article that Biden wrote when he was vice president for Obama, that they wanted everybody to be able to do hair, that some of these ladies at home wanted to be able to do hair and make money, and they didn't have money to afford to go to school. I'm like, well, there's grants though, isn't it? So but I'm just saying, they don't want to pay for. Just be on the lookout, because they're really
Mhm.
trying to deregulate this industry
Right.
across the country, across the board. So yeah, they're going to keep cutting things out and keep cutting. When you keep cutting things out and chipping away, that means they're chipping away at your license, you
Right.
know?
Right. Yeah, but definitely you've said a lot there, and you're right. It is a whole different
That's another.
no, but it's like we
Mhm.
definitely need to pay attention
Mhm.
and to make sure that, like, if we're coming into this profession, that we find out what we need to know, because we can't count on the states, the schools, and most of the people who are making these decisions don't understand or have any clue about our industry
Right.
Exactly.
as an industry and as a profession. And so educating them is one way. I always think about, it's like if they have a lot of them are still male. And so it's like if they have a wife who gets their hair done, see how you can have some conversations with them so they can
Yeah.
influence
Mhm.
their husbands. It's like sad to say it's still very male dominated,
Mhm.
but they know the importance of what they want to experience in a salon
Mhm.
experience. So my 2 cents for that. But let's wrap up for today.
Well, let me just say one thing,
Sure.
since we're on that note, about SBBO Pro, Salon and Barber Business Owners and Professionals. The trade shows that we do, the virtual trade shows, are about education. And with the Barberverse, as you know, Miki, you did it with us this year, or this particular time, it was mandatory that we had practical teaching where the instructors were actually teaching paid participants how to do a technique correctly. Real educators giving education. They were all teachers, and we just have to be committed to support these efforts. If you cannot go, this was the thing about virtual. It's not here to take over trade shows at all, but it is there to reach every single person who cannot make it. We have people who are sick. We have people who don't have the money. We have students. And the key is to get valuable education to equip yourselves. So, and also to get involved with something that you have to do regardless. You can't, We see, like Freddie said, back in 10 years ago, we could do DVDs and whatnot, but now everything is basically online. And so we need to learn how to do those things. So attend the classes, try out technology. Don't be afraid of it. Get involved, is what I want to say.
Yeah, I got it. Yes. It's like she says, Brenda says exactly, Theresa. See, I'm always open to learn. We just got such great comments, and I appreciate you guys being here. So, and Sookie Brown says so much good information. Thank you, ladies. We got some facts. uh, and it's crazy that we were taught this is the foundation for styles. It is the foundation for styles, whether they're teaching it to you or testing you on it or not. If you want to be a stylist, it is the foundation for style. So find out where you can go and what you need to do to learn those foundational keys. And this is Ralph A. Ochoa. So glad you're with us. It's like he was great friends with Charles Gregory, who I was just talking about, and is part of the film, and he's a department head many times for many of the films and television programs that we're watching. And if that's something that you're interested in, I actually did an interview with him on kind of how to get into that arena. But definitely just a wealth of wisdom and always some fun laughs too. So thanks for joining us, Ralph. Let's see. I know, right? A coworker was laughing at my irons, but baby, it still works for me.
Right.
Those irons still work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got to know how to do that.
Right. And it's like we have to become advocates for our industry.
Exactly.
You guys are so so right on point with all the comments that you're sharing. We really appreciate it. And tag someone who needs to hear some of this information, because this is, some powerful things that you guys have shared today. It's the Sunset Committee for Texas. Interesting. Yeah, and they're going to deregulate sooner rather than later. And I unfortunately agree as well. But that will be where the cream always rises to the top. That will separate. It may be a haves and a have-nots.
Right.
So if you want to be in the haves, it's like I recommend that you start learning what you need to learn to be considered the best, and having a specialty where people know who you are and what you do. That's one of the keys. And this user says it's not in the exam, but still part of the curriculum. So that's at least a plus. But I think getting tested on it is like a key. And I don't know if it's most states or which state I heard about it from, but they don't even have you do a finished hairstyle. I'm like, how do they give you a license to say that you can style someone's hair, and you sectioned something into 4 sections and did a couple little things and you never created a finished style? Beyond me. But but definitely keep learning what you need to learn. They'll eventually get rid of beauty school. So that's a whole nother thing. And this is Mimi Hawkins. So I'm not sure which one she said, but thank you guys for joining us and for sharing all of that spectacular wisdom and what you're seeing out in the marketplace. So Theresa, final words, any words of wisdom for anyone who's maybe struggling with, do I have a specialty? Do I need a specialty?
I would just say be patient and give it time and explore, read, and get as much information and knowledge as possible. Join my social media. You can find me at Theresa Casanares. Yada, yada, yada. Don't even worry about that. Just go to SBBOPRO.com and join our classes. We're bringing all kinds of education, or become an educator with us, and become virtual and get your information out there. If you are an old head, I talked to a legend last week, and he created a lot of styles out of Baltimore, and he has been recovering. And I was like, you have a wealth of knowledge. You really need to support these young people. Young people need Freddie J. They need, I'm not even gonna call names, but you know who you are, Vicky Kelly, just all of these old heads that have a wealth of information. Please spread the word, continue to share your knowledge. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, yeah. You're absolutely right. It's like there seems to be a divide, almost like this became such a hot topic. But a divide within our industry, kind of old school versus new school kind of thing. And it's like we really need to come together. And
Right.
it's like the wisdom, when I came into the industry, I was like, okay, if somebody else has bumped their head, then why do I need to bump my head? Let me find who knows.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I hope that someone else will start to have a light bulb moment from that. And it's like find some people who know, and it's the old school folks that know. So
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
what works and leave the rest, but don't think that you want or need to spend all the time trying to figure it out yourself.
Right.
Someone else is already has a shortcut for you because they already been down that path. So Freddie J,
Right. And we can always learn from the new school people, and
absolutely.
especially the technology too. I mean, those are some things that I need to tighten up on
Mhm.
and learn. As she was saying, I'm getting ready to create ebooks with all these DVDs and all this information that I have. So, I've got to move and get with what's going with the technology, because if not, we become left behind.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I appreciate the young people. And basically, a lot of us say we're not on Facebook or Instagram. It's free advertisement. We had to run around and pass out flyers and go on referrals and stuff, and it's free advertisement. So
Right.
definitely use your social media outlets
Yeah.
because it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Miki. And I hope we help someone. If they want to have a specialty, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. But you can't specialize in 15 things, but specialize in 3 at the top and just say I also offer all of these at the bottom.
Right, right. There you go. And how can we follow you? And
Oh,
find-
you can follow me at Freddie J. Freddie J _ Freddie J on Instagram, Freddie J Jones on Facebook. It's always Freddie J. And then if you want to join my BICA page, the Beauty Industry and Community Awards, we travel across the country. If you want to host a BICA in your city, then you can contact me or inbox me.
Okay. And that's Bicca in on Facebook group.
Yes, Facebook group. It's BICA, Beauty Industry and Community Awards.
Okay, I'm trying to type this in here
Mhm.
and see if we can scroll it. But you are so on point. It's like we all need to be learning from each other. It's like everybody new coming into the
Yes,
industry has skills, has game, has
yes,
all of these things to contribute. And we definitely need to be listening to each other and working together and not
together.
just trying to stay separated. So yes. And I think really the new school people, this show is about pricing, because it's like your pricing matters because you matter. And it's like a lot of us that are kind of quote unquote old school, we still have our old school prices, but we do fabulous work. We've invested in our education. It's like we've got a lot of clients, sometimes too many clients, and sometimes not enough clients, but it's like we haven't changed our pricing, or we do
Mhm.
that old school 90s thing, it's like, oh, I'll raise them $5. That is not gonna work in this in this climate right now.
Right.
And
No,
so I think the new school folks do a much better job of charging, but just making sure, whatever you're charging, that you're bringing value for what you're charging.
exactly.
So there's definitely things we can learn from each other. So I want to thank you guys. It's like we ran a little long. It's like we've still got comments and stuff coming in. So I appreciate you guys sticking with us. It's like this is to the end. And so this says great conversation, beauty professionals. There was an amen in there.
Mhm.
And that they appreciate us all for sharing. Thank you guys so much. We
Thank
appreciate you
you.
being here. Appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedule. I know you guys have lots of things going on, Theresa and Freddie J. So I want to thank you and for all that you've contributed, through the years to the industry and are currently contributing to the industry. Again, my name is Miki Wright. I help people to be able to accelerate their profits in 90 days or less. So it's like if you are wanting to do that, it's like you can follow me. Well, really just go to my Miki Wright page, mikiwright.com, and there's actually a free training you can get on there. And if you'd like to meet with me, there's a way to set it up. So I'd love to speak with you guys further, help you on the business side of things, because it's like we can't take all of our talent and think that that's going to be the end all be all to our success as a beauty professional and or in any other aspect of the business. You know, we talk about the technology and whatever it is that you're doing, it's going to take more than talent.
Right.
So just reach out to me at mikiwright.com and get the free training, and love to talk with you soon. So everybody have a great day. It's like we're
You
here
too.
because your pricing matters, because you matter. So take great care.
Bye,
Bye
everyone.
bye. Bye.